How would you surmise the offseason? You had a lot of new faces and guys blending together. How's that process gone to this point?
Yeah, things are good. We've had a few guys that have been in and out a little bit. I know I talked about Burke being out for our scrimmage. He is back on the floor, and he's been really good. I've been really pleased. Starting off with BK, he's in really good shape, and he's shooting the ball at a high clip right now. And we've had a few guys. Oogie's dealing with a little bit of a back issue right now, nothing serious. And Jared had a little bit of a foot sprain, so he's out for most of this week. Hopefully, get him back on the floor at the end of this week. Other than that, we've had everybody out there, and I'll say this: it's a very competitive group. They share the ball. They're unselfish. And it's been a really, really fun group to be around. They're spending a lot of quality time with each other off the court, which I think matters somewhat, especially when you start playing and you're in close games. The chemistry's been really good, and they show up every day. It's not like it's a team you got to jumpstart them and light a fire under them. They come in ready to go. They're in the gym getting extra work in. So, a lot of the little things sometimes you have to worry about. With teams, you don't have to worry about it with this group, so that I guess puts us a little bit ahead.
How much does Burke being one healthy but then two confident change kind of everything that you do with the impact he makes defensively, but also what you can bring offensively?
Well, I think you saw. Last year the proof is when Burke was playing well, when he was in really good shape. We played our best stretch of basketball. When he got hurt, we lost, I think, one of the two games where he was out, and then with him being off the floor for almost 2 weeks. He just never got back into the same rhythm, and you could ask him; he'd tell you the exact same thing. So, when Burke is playing well, when he's in shape, when he's out there, he does make up a lot defensively. He plays the 4 and the 5, and he's been doing that with us this summer as well. So, I think you saw us last year when Burke was healthy. We definitely had our best stretch of basketball.
With the number of new guys you have, how much of this summer, the past few weeks, is just about working different combinations and finding what 5 works for you?
Yeah, we're changing up every day. We have a different group in red and different group in gray every time we step on the floor. So we are mixing them up a lot. When we had 15 healthy bodies, we'd get 3 teams out there and we'd compete a lot of 5-on-5-on-5. And it's for us. Listen, you say it's a brand new group, but we had 8 weeks in the summer, so we were able to work a lot of those things out, and we've got another 4 weeks that we're going through right now with the official start date next Monday. I guess on the 22nd is the official start date, but it's not like the old days where it was October 15 and you hadn't seen the coaches all summer. We've got a lot of time to adjust, to acclimate guys in, to get them used to the system on both ends of the floor. And, listen, we're still working things out like everybody. Those 4 hours go very quickly. And, once we get the 20 hours starting on the 22nd, having longer days out there with the guys and being able to work things more, watching more film with them once we get to 20 hours is an important part of the process. But we've had a lot of time with these guys. But listen, until you start playing against other teams, which our first opportunity will be BYU, which will be a top 10 test. I think it'll be one of the most athletic teams in the country. We'll know a lot more about ourselves. We'll have another scrimmage on Friday. And, again, once you start getting up and down for sustained, we have to take 2 days off in a row, essentially, to have enough time for the scrimmage on Friday. But that'll be pretty much the end to our fall workouts going into, the start of camp on the 22nd.
Coach, we last spoke to you right here. Rink was just coming back in physical play. How's he looking out there?
Rink's been great. You can see him getting more comfortable. He was very rusty, obviously expected with the amount of time that he had off after the knee surgery. But he's in a really good place right now. And he's, again, with Rink out there, everything's smoother when he's on the floor. He's a very good pick and roll defender when he's at the level in our system. He's got good hands. He gets a lot of deflections out there. He knows how to use his body. Has he lost a little bit of his athleticism? Probably, as anybody would when they go through what he did. But his timing is coming back. And you can just see the plays that he makes. Not very often does a 6'9" guy lead you in assists, but we missed that last year as a playmaker and a floor spacer as well, creating the open lanes. We've got more easy baskets, more layups than we got a year ago because a lot of times with our inability to shoot it at the 5, there was a defender at the front of the rim, which took away a big strength, I think, to what the previous year's team was, shooting and lanes to the basket. So just everything opens up with Rink on the floor. And listen, the leadership part of it. You can try to lead when you're not playing, but his focus last year was getting healthy and going through the rehab. So to have him out there, reestablishing himself as the leader of this group has been important for this team as well.
I know you've said some nice things about Frager. What's the key for him over the next month or two?
Yeah, I've been really happy with Braden, and for him, the biggest thing is consistency. And he's going to go through some ups and downs, highs and lows. He's 18 years old. I think sometimes you forget that he came in as a 17-year-old freshman, and the decision to develop him and redshirt him. And I know I've talked a lot about this. We debated, do we take the redshirt off when we went through that losing streak, and then we won, I think, 5 or 6 in a row after that. So we kept it on him, but he's. For a team that needs athleticism on the floor, he provides that. He had 2 highlight level dunks last week. I think it was on Friday when he just went over top of 2 guys, and another one on a back cut. He had a great cut. Rink hit him and almost hit his head on the rim. So he brings a level of athleticism that our group needs, especially losing Bryce and losing Jawan. And but again, the biggest thing is consistency. You can go through so much on the scout team and the confidence that you play with in the role that you have, and you tell them to shoot it every time. Now it's about shot selection. Are you taking the right shots? Are you moving on to the next play when it's not there? So those, I think, are all the things that the young players, once they get eligible to play, especially after sitting for a year, will determine how much he's out there. But I've been really, really happy and really impressed with Braden and his mentality, what he's brought to this team.
No, it was emphasis over the offseason to add more shooters. What does that look like in effect?
Yeah, it is. I mean, we can have lineups where you have 5 guys that can space the floor, and all of them I think you could call knockdown shooters. And Jamarcus is shooting the ball very well right now. Obviously, Connor and Price and Braden and Rink. I mean, you got 5 guys where they're going to have to guard everybody out there on the perimeter, and then what that does to your offense. Sam obviously is a guy that can knock down shots. Kendall's a guy that shot 42% last year. BK, hopefully he keeps shooting the ball the way he does. Oogie has got a beautiful shooting stroke as well. So yes, that was a big key for us in the offseason, was to improve our perimeter shooting. You saw last year when we shot the ball well, we were pretty damn good. And when we struggled, we had a tough time winning the game. So, having shooters out there makes all the difference in the world on offense. And then we've got probably a different group that's going to be our gritty, tough, defensive-minded team. So again, we're trying to establish all that now. Wilson, to your question earlier about different combinations and different lineups, we're not going to have a full final decision on that until we start playing games and who steps up, when you need them most. And again, different lineups depending on the flow of the game. So, but yes, to answer your question, the shooting, it's been fun, to just run different actions to try to get those guys looks.
Who makes up that gritty defensive team?
Well, I think obviously you can have Sam out there. Kale is a guy that knows all the spots. I think BK is one of our better defenders. Braden has been very solid on that end of the floor. Rink, is a guy that certainly has had some big moments for us out there. Jamarcus is a good hard-nosed defender that gave us some really good possessions a couple years ago out there. I'm probably missing a few, but that's. The group that just kind of pops into my mind right now. But again, are they going to do it when the lights are on and the popcorn's popping and when adversity hits us? That's the true test on who's going to battle and compete through those tough times.
Being Friday, does that feel early to you?
I'm sorry. What do you think?
Does it feel early? Like opening night's Friday?
Yeah.
It's the 15th.
I don't know what it is, Amy, but as I get older, everything seems like it's going faster. And I mean, this summer just absolutely flew by. And where's Chattel? What do you think? Maybe he can help me. Sorry, Tom. But yeah, I mean, it seems to go. Everything has flown by. I mean, even 8 weeks in the summer. I mean, we blinked, it was over, and here we are again, and we've got our opening night this week, and it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to introducing the team and going out there with Amy and having a great time. Obviously, the weekend and the excitement with what's going on with volleyball and football right now, and Bud Crawford, representing the state and seeing the logo out there after arguably one of the greatest fights that you can have, that certainly he's had in his career, and just a lot of excitement around the program right now, and it's fun to be a part of. So I'm looking forward to getting rolling with this thing and introducing our guys to everybody that comes out, and hopefully giving them something to be proud of, because I know there's a lot of really proud Huskers right now with everything that's going on in the athletic department and in the state.
You've had Casey and Price the last few years late in the shot clock throughout the summer. Have you seen anyone step up in those late clock isolation situations?
I don't know if we're going to have that one guy, to be honest with you. And, I think it's going to be more of, getting the ball to rink at the elbow, letting him make a play, cutting, getting back to more of that, which we were able to do a couple of years ago to hopefully get some easy baskets. But yes, do we have that one guy, Bryce Williams? No, we don't. And, we're looking at different guys. Price can manufacture his own shot. Braden can manufacture his own shot. Jamarcus, can get his own shot up. But this is going to be more of a movement. We have very few stagnant possessions, where we get the ball in one guy's hands and let him go to work and let him operate. And this is going to be more of that type of team that has movement, throughout the possession and hopefully make the right plays.
How's the transition been for Leo and Quentin as freshmen?
Yeah, it's an adjustment. There's no doubt about it, as it was for me, as it was for everybody that steps on campus for the first time. Leo missed a pretty good portion of the summer, but had an unbelievable experience and played great on his national team, which was a really good experience for him. Q's athleticism is something that translates to our level. Now it's about, for both those guys, continue to adjust the physicality and the speed and having to play every possession, like it's your last. So, I've been really impressed with both those guys, and they're going to be good ones. But again, the depth that we have in this team, a lot will be determined yet on who's in the rotation, especially with our freshmen. So, just continuing to develop, and we've got about 5 weeks, I guess, before we take the court, and we'll have that figured out by that time.
How hard will it be determining rotations with the level of depth?
Really hard, Wilson. It's going to be a very difficult job for our staff to figure out who is in the rotation, not only who starts, but more importantly, who's going to finish and who's going to be on the court at the end of the games. And, again, as I said, we're not going to have that figured out by the opener, I don't think. I mean, maybe I hope we will. But, teams go through a lot of different things, once you start competing and playing against other bodies. So, it is, though. I think I've got it figured out a little bit, and then the next day somebody will step up and play great that I thought may not have as big a role, or somebody you think is going to be a staple, may have a week where they don't play as well. So there's still a lot, going on as far as determining who will be in it, but we're statting everything. We stat every practice. We're statting who wins and keeping track of who's winning the most out there, because that stuff matters. We've had guys maybe that haven't put up huge numbers, but they've had a big impact on winning. And, so that all goes into it when we figure out who's going to be out there and who's going to be in the rotation.
With Braden's age, which older guys have you seen maybe helping develop that day-to-day consistency?
I think a lot of the guys, I think our group is very together. And, I know everybody would probably say that right now before you start playing games. The challenge is, are you going to stay together, once roles change and that type of thing. But, yeah, everybody's been really good. We challenge them every day, to be a great communicating team. And, sometimes we're really good. Sometimes when things get tough, we're not so good. But we had individual goal meetings with each guy last week. We just finished those up on Friday. And, in those meetings, we talked about their basketball goals. They talked about their individual goals. We talked about their off-court goals. And we have the whole staff in there, the support staff, Kurt, our strength coach, our trainer, Andrew, our sports scientist, our sports psychiatrist, everybody's our nutritionist, and the whole coaching staff is in there. And our job is to hold those guys accountable for what their goals are and to do everything we can to help them achieve those goals, both collectively as a team and individually. So the one thing they all say is communicate, and we got to stay together. Now the proof is going to be, are we going to do that when things get tough? And it can't be lip service. We can't go in there and, I checked the box. I went through my goal meeting with the staff, and now when things go out there, I don't live up to those standards. So, we've done a lot of those things with this group and culture meetings every week and bringing in speakers and that type of thing. So, it's a matter of now, or is that going to carry over, or are we going to do that when times get tough?
Coach Matt Will, the player in football, talked about how new facilities and everything around them has helped them be better athletes. I know you're not in season yet, so maybe this is a question for when the season starts. How have you seen the players been able to recover or use the facilities better to practice better in preseason?
Yeah, we do talk a lot about winning the recovery days, and we've got we don't have what this facility is quite over here, but we're in the top. I'd put us in the top 5-10% in college athletics for what our facilities are. They're immaculate, and just how.
What happens when the prostate enlarges
Oh shit! That's a dilemma. What was can you give me the answer on that? Because I usually get up at about 1 for the first time, and I think it has something. Anyway, I lost track. Where were we? Oh, facilities. Yeah. So anyway, the facilities are unbelievable. Certainly you can ask Connor and our players about it when they get up here, but they do a really good job of utilizing what we have. And we've got hot tubs, cold tubs that they're able to use. We've got a sauna that some of them use, especially when they're hurt. We're able to use the pool. Pablo's been very nice to allow us to use the pool for recovery. We've got a great track right there, and so I'd put our facilities up against anybody. And again, it's important not only to have them, but are you going to use them? And our guys do a good job of that.
What are your thoughts on Connor's photography skills?
Do Connor's photography skills? They're awesome, Connor. They're really good. Yeah. Is he a photographer? I see he's got a camera all the time. I know that.
Oh, he shot at the game on Saturday.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to take a look.
With Connor, I asked about him as well, but he's one of your more visible players. You talk about player leadership. I guess what's his role been in that, especially with kind of coming back to one of the most veteran players?
Yeah, and Connor talked a lot about that in his goal meeting, is being a better leader for our team and being more vocal and helping guys like Braden. He's been unbelievable for Braden, and I'll let Braden talk about their relationship. You see the corny handshake they're doing back there right now, but they those guys are. Connor has been very good for Braden in a lot of ways. Not only on the court, but probably more importantly, what is meant to him off the court. But he talked a lot about how he really wants to step up his leadership this year, and I'm proud of him. I think he's done a really good job of that going into his 4th year in college. And listen, when you have louder, more vocal players out there with bigger personalities, sometimes you take a back seat to that. But he knows this year, even with Rink coming back, and even with Sam, going into his 5th year now. Kale's a great leader for this team. Other guys as well, but we're going to need Connor to help us lead through tough times. And how you ascend into that over the course of your career and over the course of your life, what he's doing is going to help him. Once he starts with his professional basketball career after whatever it is, this year, next year, if they get a 5th year, yet to be determined. But yeah, I'm proud of Connor.
Coach.
All right, thanks, guys.